Hello, this video is for IXL Activity 4.G.3 titled Evaluate Variable Expressions. The three-character code for this activity is 88 Lima. So in this activity, what they want you to do is they want you to substitute a given value for the variable into the expression and then to go ahead and solve it. Also, these could be called algebraic expressions. They're calling them variable expressions. Get my highlighter here. They're calling them variable expressions because they have variables in them, like v and n. A variable is a symbol that represents a value that can change, and they're going to give us a value for that, such as v equals 3 or n equals 9. But we could also call these algebraic expressions because once we start including variables into expressions or equations, we're then dealing with algebraic expressions or equations. Difference between regular math and algebra. Algebra involves variables. So on our first question here, it says 6 divided by v. Well, what if v were equal to 3? Well, that simply means to take the value of 3 and substitute it into the expression for the value of v. So instead of 6 divided by v, we would have 6 divided by 3. 6 divided by 3 is equal to 2. So the correct answer for the first problem would be 2. On the second question, it says 19 minus n. We're to subtract the value of n from 19. Well, here they're telling us that n is equal to 9. So let's go ahead and rewrite the expression. But this time, instead of n, we're going to include the 9 because that's what they're telling us the value of n is. And 19 minus 9 is 10. So the correct answer is 10. On our next two problems here, we have 56 plus h, and they're saying that h is equal to 21. So we're going to substitute the value of 21 in for the variable of h. So 56 minus 21. Now, it might be easier to go ahead and stack this as 56 minus 21 and do it vertically. 6 minus 1 is 5, and 5 minus 2 is 3. So actually, plus it's addition. Silly me. I'm like, the answer's not there. And IXL, if the answer's not there, you probably looked at something incorrectly. So let's do that again. 56 plus, and this time h is 21. Now this would actually probably be easier. You could probably do this mentally, right? If we would think of 20 as 20 plus 1, and we do 56 plus 20, we would get, what, 76? Now let's go ahead and add the 1, and we would get 77, and sure enough, there's 77 right there. If you wanted to, you could also stack that 56 and 21, add them together, 7 and 7 for the answer of 77. All right, next one's subtraction. 85 minus the value of u. And the value of u in this situation, or this particular case, is 66. So we're talking about 85 minus 66. Now you could do this mentally of thinking what's the difference between 66 and 85. And if you think 66 and we go up 20, we would get to what, 86, right? But it's 85, so we need to back off one, and that would be 19, and we see that answer there. Or if you wanted to, you could go ahead and stack these. 85 minus 66. We're going to go ahead and borrow one, making this 15. And 15 minus 6 is 9, and 7 minus 6 is 1, and we would get the same 19. After a while on this activity, it's going to go from multiple choice to where you actually have to type in the answer. So let's go ahead and do that. 51 divided by 3, and that equals, well, 51 divided by 3. We could do some long division on that. Many of you will probably use a calculator, but 3 will go into 5 once. And 1 times 3 is 3. Subtract, we get 2. Bring down the 1. 3 goes into 21 7 times. So our answer is 17. I would have done this one mentally. I would have thought 10 threes. Right, 10 times 3 would get me to 30. And then 51 minus 30 would equal 21. So 3 would go into 21 7 times. So I would need 10 plus 7 equals 17. That's how I would do that mentally for mental math on that one. On the next one over here, 3 times the quantity of Q. In this case, Q is 25. So we have 3 times 25. Well, that's pretty easy, right? That's like 25 is like a quarter. Like if you think of money, if you had 3 quarters, you would have 75 cents. So 3 times 25 is 75. And our last two examples here for this activity, 10 times t. So we need to substitute the value of 8 for the variable t. So we'll go ahead and do that. 10 times, and I like to use the dot instead, 8. I want to get away from using the X sign because it starts to look like a variable whenever we get into algebra. So 10 times 8 is 80. So we're going to type in 80 and hit enter. And finally, we have the value of j plus 217. And the value of j is 574 in this case. So 574, we need to add that to 217. Now I could probably do this mentally. I would take the 500, add it to 200 to get 700, and then 70 plus, I think of this as 74 plus 10 would be 84, right? And then I got another 7 to go. 84 plus 7 would be what, 91? So 791, I think, is what I do if I do it mentally. Let's go ahead and stack these up. 574 plus 217, and 4 and 7 is 11. Carry the 1, and 7 plus 1 plus 1 is 9, and 5 plus 2 is indeed 7. So, yep, my mental math was correct. 791. So those are all of my examples. IXL Activity 4.G.3, evaluate variable expressions. Good luck with your activity.